Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Dave here from the band Angerbox with my sidekick.
This is Jimmy from Angerbox.
And guys, today we are joined on the podcast with none other than Screaming Mad Dee. Yeah! Give it up. And we're joined by a studio audience of Tariff Jane, Greg Kerr, Patrick, and Uncle Buck, our helpers, and we appreciate everybody for coming out and supporting us and watching us do it live. Hopefully we'll be doing this streaming live. I got to get Glenn Cannon from Seattle. We're still trying to find a way to get that on, so stick around for that. So, how you been, brother?
I'm good. I mean, I'm as good as can be expected, given the state of things these days, but staying happy, staying healthy.
Right.
Trying to be productive.
Well, we got to start off with a shot. I haven't seen you for a while, so
I got one poured. I'm going to queue up some Screaming Mad Dee.
And you guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button and punch that like button in the face for us, please.
This is the sounds of Iron Man.
Cheers. You're watching The Social, guys.
Here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
That was some Honey Jack.
Yes, indeed.
Ooh, sweet.
So, tell us a little bit about what we're hearing right now.
This is the title cut from what turned out to be the final Iron Man studio album, South of the Earth. I joined Iron Man in 2010. Had known Al and Lewis for some time, and they needed a vocalist, and shot me the offer, gave me a list of songs. Iron Man dated back to the late 80s. There's a pretty good catalog to pick from. Learned about 8 songs, went in, did an audition, and then we did an impromptu cover of Judas Priest, Victim of Changes. And we didn't even make it to the end of the song. When I did the Victim of Changes scream, everybody stopped now, says, well, the gig's yours if you want it.
I was going to say, I just had the mental image of you doing that. Auditions are canceled, guys.
And, remained with Iron Man until we lost Al 3 years ago, and that's when the band...
That's a shame, man.
Yeah, man, rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
I had the opportunity to play with you guys at Woodchuck's before it shut down.
Yeah, right.
And awesome experience, and I'm glad I got to have that before he passed.
He was blind, right?
Well, diabetes is what eventually did him in, so his eyesight kind of came and went.
But I know he played pretty much blind one night, and I was amazed. I was like, holy crap.
Well, we did a show in Brooklyn, and I picked him up, and he said that he could only see about this far in front of his face.
Wow.
He says, but I should be all right. So we got up there, got him set up, got his gear up, got him up there, and he played. He was on fire.
I remember, man. It was. You guys flawless.
And not a lot of people know this, but the first time we played Woodchucks in 2013, after the gig, Al pulled us all together. His wife had passed away that morning.
Oh, wow.
And, I was floored. I'm like, Al, why are we here? He said, she wanted me to come and do this gig. And he was on fire Al was on fire every night we ever played, no matter what was going on with him, physically or whatever. And he was a gentleman. He was just a cool guy to have around. Some of my favorite moments with him on the road weren't necessarily gig moments, but driving afterward, Lou and Mott would be asleep in the back. I'd be driving and just talking with Al, getting that wisdom, because Al was 10 years older than I am.
Right.
And he had been there and done that. And
I can't say I knew him on any kind of personal level, but there was one connection there that we shared, and wasn't in touch with him before he passed at all, but I know just that connection that we shared, the music was running deep in the soul until the day you went, wasn't it?
Yes. And one of my favorite moments playing up here with Iron Man was Cody Kaut.
Shout out to you, Cody Kaut.
Looking at Al's pedal board, and he says, man, there's pedals here that are older than I am.
But the part about playing it, a deaf in the band, My dad passed away one night, right when me and Gentile was starting Social Grudge. And she goes, "Do you want to go out to Wayne Stock?" Shout out to Wayne Ayers that used to have Wayne Stock. He's a big fan of the show too. But I said, "Gentile, I ain't got nothing else to do.
Right.
My dad's gone.
Right. And
Let's go."
there's truth to that.
Yeah.
You know, just
he would have wanted me to.
Yeah,
so.
and it's not even one of the old standbys reaction to that as life goes on. It's not even that. It's like, I'm going to hurt whether I'm sitting here on my couch,
right,
or whether I'm out there on stage.
What it did, it prolonged to her, because I went to the show, had a great time,
Right.
got drunk. She went home, I went home, and then I was left to deal with my feelings about
Right.
my dad.
Right.
You know, then that's when it hits you.
Right.
You know, so.
Right.
What gear are you using nowadays, man? I mean, I know you sing, but you were saying something about playing the bass there the other day, or for a show or something.
Well, I still have both my Ibanez sound gears. I don't have any bass gear anymore other than the bass guitars.
Oh, okay.
For my solo setup, I have 2 Ovations. I play those through a Fender Mustang 200 watt.
Oh, okay.
That is way more than I need.
Yeah.
Just as far as features, but it is such a sweet amp.
Are those those plastic back Ovations? Is those the kind you got?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that's pretty much
They,
Ovation's
yeah,
thing, the round
that's
back.
how
They
they
got
are.
their own sound too.
Yeah.
They're unique.
Yeah, they are unique.
Well, I kind of stumbled into Ovation. I had an Ibanez, and then when this whole solo thing started, I thought I need a backup guitar, and wandered into Atomic Music in Beltsville. It's a used shop, and there was a Ovation Celebrity on the wall for like $200, and
wow.
picked that up and just loved
That's
it.
a pretty
from day
good
one.
guitar.
Yeah, yeah, and
$200, geez.
I still play that. And then I upgraded to a TX 3 years ago. Got back from Europe, and the tour had gone so well that I said, I'm treating myself. And
No doubt.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Ovation TX.
Oh, TX.
Yeah.
I don't know if I heard that. I'll check it out.
Is that what we're hearing right now?
Acoustic electric.
Trying to think. Yes.
This is some Screaming Mad Dee solo,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Just
But,
sounds real bluesy.
During COVID, I
Tight.
just fill the time, I bought a shovel guitar and got my head wrapped around that, and I've had a lot of fun with that. Picked up a cigar box guitar. Gent named Daniel Orion, Lucky Pick Guitars in Texas, built it for me. And in New York last fall, I picked up a diddly bow.
Diddly bow.
Yeah, 1 string.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. It's made out of a small cigar box and a broomstick.
Oh,
Are you
wow.
looking to experiment with sounds and stuff with those instruments?
Yeah, I
or-
mean, it's just my next album is recorded.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of those elements in it. There are several songs that are shovel based with some guitar underneath. There's some songs that are guitar based.
Jack
with the
White
shovel
does stuff like
underneath.
that a lot, too.
You know, just again, when you're stuck at home, you can't go anywhere. You got to find something to do, and that's
Right.
where I went. You know,
Jack White of the White Stripes, if you want to come on the show, hit us up.
So I want to talk about how I first got familiar with Screaming Mad Dee. There was a band playing around the area with Brett Downey singing. Shout out to Brett Downey. And Jeff Whedon was playing drums. Tim Wilhelm was shredding the guitar.
Heavy set.
Which fucking great band in town. And I heard Brett stepped away from the band.
yes,
And they were bringing someone named Screaming Mad Dee in to fill in his role. And I was like, man, they had a very specific set list. I've never heard you at that point. Didn't hear you yet. I was like, it's going to be to stick to the same set and go the same direction. It's a very specific sound they have to bring in.
Right.
And then I think it might have even been at Woodchuck's. I caught a show. And I was like, holy shit. Like, how is this even possible? It's like they found the perfect voice to keep going without losing any momentum of what they had. It was great.
that came together real funny. I had been up and seen Heavy Set with Brett, and that was over at the Woodpile, and
Might have been where it was at.
and was coming up. It was early November 2008. I was coming up, and saw a post on MySpace, really dating myself there, where Brett had said, "I'm stepping down from Heavy Set," and I told my then wife, I said, "Jeff Whedon's going to be calling me," and she says, "Why?" I said, "Because Brett quit Heavy Set." and they're going to call and ask me to sit in this weekend because they knew I was coming up anyway. And she's like, well, that's a little presumptuous, isn't it? I said, just wait for it. And about 5 minutes later, the phone rang, and it was Jeff. And they had shows booked roughly every other weekend through the end of the year. Yeah. And I was telling Jeff outside before we started, half the songs that first night I had never sang before. I knew them, but had never performed them. And Ray was up there learning songs before the set started, and I thought, man, this is going to be a train wreck. And we were on fire. It was just, 4 seasoned old dudes just doing their thing. And it was so much fun that I asked my wife, I said, would you mind if I came up here and we finished out this run of shows through the end of the year, including New Year's Eve? So that was the plan. We'll just play out the rest of the shows and that's it. But then we kept doing it. Every 2 or 3 months, we'd get a show booked. And
this might be weird to say, and it might not even be my place to say it, but, that was kind of Brett's baby, and he started that baby. Mm-hmm. He was proud. When he found out you were going to be the guy that was taken on after him, he was fucking proud. And, I can always give credit to him because he's got a hell of a set of pipes on him.
Well, who else is going to take that spot for that voice?
So I knew whenever he said you, and he was proud that it was you that were going to be the guy, I was like, I got to check it out. Which then led me into dig a little bit deeper into what else you're into, because I love my original shit more than anything. I love original music.
I was in Land of Doom at that point.
Yeah, we're listening to this right now, and man, I was excited for this playlist today.
Yeah, this is Spiral Grave. This is my current band. We're actually shooting a video for this song a week from today, next Sunday.
So bring me up to speed. I read something on Facebook. Spiral Grave's been together for a little while. Maybe a hiatus, and now we're coming back full force. What happened there?
Well, when Al died, my solo gig was going pretty much full tilt at that point. And the camaraderie in Iron Man was so good that I thought, well, that's it. I'm a solo artist now. I don't see me doing the band thing again, because there'll never be that kind of camaraderie again, that kind of focus on the song.
Well,
and not
chemistry too. It's hard to recreate.
Right. So, in late 2018, I get a call from a buddy of mine, Willie Rivera, who had been in a band called Lord, who had disbanded. And Willie and I have been friends for a long time, and he is a monster riffer. And he says, I'm looking to put a new project together. And as he described it, he says, I want to do Doom meets Dehumanizer. And I said, oh, hell yeah. So we started talking and everything. Well, I thought he had a core together and needed a singer. Well, it turned out, no, he was building this from the ground up. And I'm like, well, if you need a rhythm section, I've got a couple guys for you. And we called Lou and Mott and put Spiral Grave together at the end of 2018. So Spiral Grave is basically the final Iron Man lineup with a different guitarist.
Before the COVID hit, I think, weren't you posting videos of that? Or was that another band? Or
no, that was...
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen some now. It's like, usually somewhere, and I was like, damn, dude, like, fucking, you're getting down, man. And the new guy was there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
just wanted another shot. It's the social. We got it.
So, COVID pretty much delayed our album by about a year. It'll be out in June. We signed with Argonauta Records. Yeah.
Tell us about this, like the recording process here. That sounds pretty good. The studio recording here. Tell us about this.
We recorded with a gent named Noel Mueller in Towson. Just a basement studio. Basically, just tracked everything live to get drums, and then layered everything else in on top of it.
It sounds pretty good. You know what workstation he was using?
I don't.
I like it.
I don't.
Probably Pro Tools or one of
them. I'm sure you'll link up with me. Where can anyone find this? Is this actually out yet? Can people get online and find it on somewhere online?
We do have a Bandcamp. Just search Spiral Grave on Bandcamp, and there are a few songs on there. Again, this will be out in June. We don't have the exact date yet, but Argonauta is who I'm signed to do my solo stuff,
right?
And they like to trickle things out.
How does that work now? What's it like now? Because not a lot of rock artists are getting signed nowadays. A lot of them are independent,
right? I mean, my relationship with Argonauta kind of dropped out of the sky when I started writing and recording acoustic songs, it was just for the fun of it. I mean, the first one I wrote and put out was for a friend who had died of liver cancer. Wrote a song for her.
That tune.
Yeah, wrote a song for her, put it out, and people were like, "Wow, this is great," because it was a new side to me and what I was doing. So every couple weeks I'd put a song out. Well, then a friend reached out and says, "What are you going to do with these songs?" And I said, "I don't know, maybe I'll put a CD out or something." And he shared them with the people from Argonauta Records, and Argonauta reached out to me.
Oh, okay.
Basically, the difference in it is the promotional side of it.
They take care of it all.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to book freely outside of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they're not a booking agency. They're just a record label.
Do they still promote anything you do?
Kind of, sort of. Like, they're going to put a blurb out about my novel.
We're going to get to that in a minute, by the way.
But not a full-on press release of it. They focus on their own stuff. They also released the live Iron Man album that just came out a little over a week ago.
Where are they based out of again?
Italy.
Italy. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, shit.
Yeah.
Is that why there's plans? You maybe went already overseas? Didn't you go?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Was that involving this deal?
The tour I did in Europe in 2018 was actually pitched as an Iron Man tour.
Okay.
But I knew that Al was not going to be able to do it. The writing on the wall was just too evident. And as any shameless self-promoter would do, I threw my hat in the ring. I explained the situation. I said, I do a solo act. And I didn't think it would go anywhere, but they bit.
They were on board.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it was over for 2 weeks. So being on Argonauta definitely helped with that, having the label support. But the main thing is, again, promotion. They're putting the stuff out there for people to write reviews and do reviews, and they're taking care of product. Whenever I need CDs, I just reach out. I have to buy my own CDs for my merch table, but you get them at cost.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
can't just give you your shit, man.
Right.
Let's
Come
do
on.
it.
Right.
Do a shot, man. Because I say fuck the record companies. I'm going to start my own label and give my own band a record deal. Fuck
There
it.
you go.
Cheers.
But I did an EP about a year ago, songs that I had left over and wanted to put out, and I just did the old do-it-yourself and patched them myself.
Is this song one of those? And before we really talk about it, of the songs that you sent me, this one stuck out for a couple reasons.
It's
Number
eerie,
one,
ain't
the
it?
name of the song. You want to take a guess on the name of the song here? Spite Fuck.
This is on my last album.
Yeah, this is a tight song.
Yeah.
Thank God
that
we
little
can't be
acoustic riff's
demonetized.
badass, right?
Because we're not monetized, so they can't demonetize us for that. Sorry, YouTube.
Well, when I was writing this, I
It's kind of like a spite fuck.
Yeah.
I wrote the riff and was telling a friend, said, "Oh, wait till you hear this song, man. It's just sleazy and down-tuned. It sounds like something you'd spite fuck somebody to."
I don't know why. It's just something about this little arrangement of it. It's like, this is a cool little fucking
This
ditty
one-
right here.
I'm thinking vampire movie.
This is in the
feeling
live
when I
set.
hear this.
Is there a full band live version of this too? Because I can hear a little bit of that if possible, if wanted.
The most you get from a live set is 3-piece. That's when my son's here. He'll do percussion. But there's that version where, me, guitar, vocals, Lou on bass, Rob on percussion, and in any combination of that. I'll go out and play by myself, go out and play Lou and me and Rob,
Do you have a YouTube page?
Yeah, Screaming Mad Dee.
Screaming Mad Dee. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Screaming Mad Dee. You like what you hear? I'm liking it. I'm already there.
And my website's screamingmaddee.com.
You're official.
A lot of my official videos aren't on my page because they're on the Argonauta Records page.
Right.
But there are links to them on the website, so you can.
Does that feel pretty?
Check it out.
I mean, me personally, I would be proud. Link to my record page here.
Oh, don't we have an angerboxrocks.com, don't we?
Yeah, we have that. Links you
But why
straight
do
to
you
our
need
Facebook.
it? Once there's so much. I mean, you only need really one or two, maybe.
I got enough problem trying to get everybody to one
Yeah,
page.
Right, I know.
Trying to get them to visit all of them.
I know Reverb Nation and Bandcamp and
Keeps you busy.
SoundCloud. There's so many.
Spotify, all that stuff.
So, I know you're not actually living in Cumberland, Western Maryland type total. But is there any musicians, any bands in this area that kind of stand out to you? Like, watch those guys, look out for those guys. Anyone come to mind? Even just one musician.
Boy, look at Jeff's ears perking up with that question.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I've been hearing.
I thought you said Jeff Sears.
Shout out to Jeff Sears.
You said Jeff's ears. I got
Jeff's
you. Jeff
ears.
in the audience.
Now, I've been following you guys.
Appreciate that.
And like the stuff you guys are putting out. Love what I'm hearing from Tariff's Jane so far.
I don't even think you've heard it yet, man. Wait till you hear it. Great.
Yeah.
I've heard it, and I love the different. Each song's like its own little individual piece of work, but it still has a cohesion.
You can tell. When I jam the Tariffs of Jane stuff, here's what I can tell: the band worked together.
Right.
They worked together. It wasn't just somebody had it all orchestrated already and gave everybody their parts. I can tell they all worked together on it. I think that's pretty cool because you know that collaborating in a creative sense, trying to move to one direction, it's never one direction.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's what I meant with Iron Man. There was that.
That's a hard thing to reproduce.
Yeah, and
it is.
And that's how it is with Spiral Grade. We all. It's just that singular goal. Cool. Thank you.
This is a cool song, man.
Thank you.
I didn't hear that. Contrary part, like I said in my other episodes, my iPod is full of local music, so it's the way it is.
Right.
What about
that's good. That's good.
gigs, bookings? Is there anything coming up for Screaming Mad Dee?
Finally, some things are starting to happen. April 2nd, Good Friday, which occurred to me after it was booked.
It's good. The day already says so.
We're finally doing a Godless release party. Godless came out on July 10th, but with the state of things, didn't have an official release show. That's going to be at the Depot in Baltimore. I'm headlining that. We'll have the trio that night. My son will be in town. And then the following Saturday, April 10th, I'm on a bill at Cafe 611 in Frederick with a bunch of heavy bands. And it's kind of cool because I can headline like unplugged stuff, or I can be the acoustic act in the middle of a bunch of heavy bands. And I've said for years that heavy isn't dependent on a wall of distortion. The example I always use is Bad Moon Rising. It's this little ditty in a major key, but listen to those lyrics. That's a heavy damn song.
Mm-hmm. Look at almost any Johnny Cash song, man.
Well, yeah.
If he had had the tools to use it back in the day, I'm sure he would have pulled out a little bit of death metal.
Right.
Some of that shit was deep.
I played Doom Over Toronto in 2016, and it was a 2-day fest. It was supposed to open day 2, and then one of the bands couldn't get across the border into Canada. So the promoter said, instead of sliding everybody around, screw it, I'm going to put you in that slot, which meant we played next to last. We played right before the headliner. Well, after the show, I found out that while we were up sound checking, the headlining band had grabbed the promoter and said, "You can't be serious. You can't be putting on an acoustic act at a festival this close to the headliner." And Dom, the promoter, says, "Just wait." And when I did my mic check, they were like, and we became great friends that night. So,
I like hard rock, hard music, heavy music, but when you sent me that acoustic stuff, I really wasn't expecting it. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, man, anybody that gets creative with an acoustic, I'm a fan. I play my acoustic more than I play anything.
Right.
So I have a different style away from Angerbox. It doesn't even sound like Angerbox. Mm-hmm. So when you sent me that stuff, I was like, I'm connected to him already.
Well, I think a lot of people, when they hear acoustic, they think of James Taylor, Jim Croce, who there's nothing that can be said about those guys that hasn't been said 1,000 times. Legendary. But not the ballsiest, angriest music in the world. So it's just another way to express myself, music, writing, all of that.
Two more things I want to touch on, and we got to wrap it up. First thing, you're a writer.
Yes.
You've written some books.
Yes.
You got a new novel coming out. Tell us about that.
This will be book number 4, but novel number 1. It's called One Whore's Town, which is a play off of One Horse Town. I had written a collection of short stories, then a novella, then another collection of short stories. Didn't think I had the chops to write a full novel. Wanted to take a class just to learn, just organization, that kind of thing. And then finally I was like, you know what? Everything I do, I just do it. Why should this be any different? So, late last year into early this year, wrote the manuscript. Had a couple offers from publishers, but didn't really like a lot of the terms, so just decided to do it myself again. And
you can be independent that way too, can't you?
Yeah,
you just gotta find somebody to print the book.
Right. Yeah, I go through.
You do audio books, man.
Right. That's something I'm considering for this one.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I'll record it for you.
But it's called One Horse Town. It's about a husband and father who loses his wife and daughter in a traffic accident and is distraught, and based on a memory of something his father had told him as a child, returns to the place where his family had vacation when he was a kid with the sole intention of drinking himself to death. And while he's there, he runs afoul of a succubus.
I like that term. I like that you use that term. I don't think it gets used enough in the scenario.
So, even though he wants to die, he ends up fighting for his life. So that's that'll be out April 23rd.
Like how many pages is a novel, Dee? Like,
this is just over 60,000 words. It comes out at about 350 pages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. What was that release date one more time?
April 23rd.
I'll make sure I put a visual up here when we edit it in so they can see the badass cover.
Reader. You'll have to have an audio
You'll
book.
really like the artwork on it. The artwork's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, I did the art.
You did that?
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I do all my own art except the Spiral Grave album. I did the concept, but we hired an artist to do it.
That's awesome, man. Real quick, the last thing we're going to talk about might be a sensitive subject, but I don't give a shit. I know you guys go back. I know there's some relation there, but I also know that in light of recent news going on in the world, maybe you guys may have had a riff in the friendship. I'm so happy that when I asked you to be on the show, you said yes, and when I mentioned it to Dave, he said absolutely. You know what that means? That means our show will bring you together. We don't give a shit about you being friends on Facebook. Fuck Facebook.
Yeah, we're actually cousins.
Although Facebook, I need your help right now.
Okay, bud.
But yeah, I appreciate letting the music bring us all together on this. That's it doesn't matter what happens online on a social community, because we are still here and brothers.
Hey, I look at it this way. If there's one thing we've learned in the last 12 months, we got to stick together.
Yeah,
absolutely, brother.
We have got to stick together, man. There has been too much loss and suffering, and it doesn't matter fuck all who it was at fault. The fact was that it happened, and our industry's been hurt by this.
Yeah.
We got young players who didn't quite get seasoned enough, who won't come back to it now. We've got older players who realize, I don't really need this anymore. But we gotta keep each other lifted and keep our scene going.
Yes, we do.
Well said, brother. With that being said, Dee, Calhoun,
thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for being on the social.
Thank you for having me.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching the social.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, everyone.